Now, I want to start off the video. Your loving boy Joey Panetta, the young greatness himself, a great YouTuber, respected by even PewDiePie. He will even tell you. I'm kind of friends with him. I don't talk on Facebook much anymore, but hey, I'm friends with a famous YouTuber, so you got to understand I'm really a good person. A lot of people will sit here and say I'm a freak, but I don't see that. I really don't like even comprehend how people think that. Because for me, I may be a criminal, maybe a nut job, but I'm more of a hero and a ballsy person than anyone on YouTube will admit, because I am. I'm the most ballsy and honest person on YouTube. And that's a good thing, despite what you think. Because if you don't have people like me in this world, you wouldn't understand. You don't even understand where I'm coming from or why I'm saying this. I can explain it as much as I can, but I don't really think that'll change your opinion. I hope it does. Quite frankly, YouTubers who are famous, and I'm not saying I'm famous, but I am actually well known. For a small YouTuber, I'm very well known. I have PewDiePie as a friend. I mean, I'm not saying he's my friend, but he likes me. He likes me enough to accept my friend request on Facebook. Not saying I use Facebook much, but he was my friend on Facebook and YouTube. We're kind of friends. We talk. PewDiePie, a YouTuber, a millionaire, is my friend. He likes me. He actually respects my content. Oh, I don't know that, but he's a nice guy. I even tell him, you're a great YouTuber, and that's something you should be proud of. Very few people have the balls to say what you say and do what you do, and I respect you. So shout outs to him. PewDiePie's a wonderful YouTuber, and I support his shit, you know? Honestly, I think of him as a friend and Anime Central, just because he actually took the time to befriend me on Facebook and YouTube as well. He even likes my comments. He's like, "You're a nice guy." I'm like, "Well, you don't have to say that because I doubt that myself." But React Central and Anime Central, the big YouTubers, the same big fat black guy. I meant it as a compliment, but me and him are friends, and he's a very well known YouTuber, so I like him a lot. So shout outs to PewDiePie, to Anime and React Central. They're great YouTube channels. I recommend checking them out, and if you want, subscribe, because quite honestly, it's not easy to find people as funny and as enjoyable as them on YouTube. I may be a decent YouTuber, but I know that I will never have that talent that they have, and I'm okay with it. I accept it. I mean, maybe for rapping, but YouTube, no, I will never be as good at that as they are. I'm okay with that. At least they have the guts to say, "I like you, Joey. You're my friend." That means a lot. When a YouTuber as big as that says that, that makes a big impact on my life. People don't realize I never believed in hope when I was young. I was so depressed, I tried to kill myself twice. Whether you accept it or not, that's an opinionated thing. But I'm going to tell you, in my life, I suffered with a lot of stuff when I was young, a lot of abuse. But that's not what I'm trying to get at. Despite all of what I did, I was a hard worker when I was younger. People don't understand in your generation, all you lazy, weed smoking kids. I mean, I'm different because I came from the old generation. I'm only 22, but I've dealt and seen with a lot in my small time. So I know about the old generation more than anyone. You young Americans would not understand. I understand them better than anyone. For my small amount of time on Earth, I've seen and dealt with more than anyone. My life was a war. So for you to sit here and tell me I know nothing about that, I know more about the old generation than you. You want to bet on it? Okay. When people were in the old days in the 80s and 90s, they were poor as fuck. Back then money meant more. But at the same time, you barely got any money at all. The government was cheap as fuck. And that's the thing, man. It's improved because as much as the value of a dollar has decreased, the amount of what you can buy has increased by a lot. So it makes up for it. In my opinion, the government's improved, but people suffered a lot. You got to realize the draft sent a lot of people to the wars. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying people die, and it's kind of senseless at the end of the day. I don't. I'm first defending your country. I understand if it's absolutely necessary. A lot of the wars aren't like that. People just go around flicking their dicks and killing each other for senseless no reason to it. They just like to hurt each other, and I don't support that. I don't give a shit if you agree. I don't support people dying just to die to say they were noble because that's not noble. If you really care about your world, you'll stick around and not waste your life at such a young age. That's something I believe in. I'm an old generation, and I'm not saying you got to realize I'm looking for a job right now. And I don't believe if you don't have a job, you're a lazy fuck. No. Life in general is a job. Not as much as a job because they pay you, but even for chores around the house, that's a job. If you have the balls to do that, then you are a good person, even if you don't have a job. And I'm saying, man, I look for a job as much as I can, but you gotta understand, if I get one, I do. I don't, I don't. That's not as much as I believe in the good in myself. If I can't make it that far, it wasn't as far as I was meant to go. If cheese, and mind you, I have a big work history. I was very well known, so I don't have to prove myself any more than I have. I was a manager at 2 hotels. Well, I was close. The Hotel Marriott, I became a semi-manager. I took care of that place really well. I left on good service. I became a semi-manager for 2 years. I made about like $80 altogether and an extra 100 tip. So I was a semi-manager for 4 years at the Marriott or something. I was a co-worker there for 2 years, and at the Hood Hotel, I almost became semi-manager. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to prove that I'm a hard worker. I never did. But in general, I'm a hard worker. My morals in general are based. You don't do shit half-ass, and I try not to. Even people they'll say, "Oh, I do shit half-ass." No, that's your opinion. I do the best I can, and I don't. If I'm gonna do something, bro, I'm gonna do it the best I can do it at my ability. But I believe I'm a hard worker. I'm probably more of a hard worker than anyone I know. That's your opinion if you can't agree with it. But being a hard worker in general, whether it's life or a job, even if it's life, no one's going to judge you if you don't have a job. Plenty of people are on welfare. I'm not saying it's right, but. And plenty of people are on food stamps. I don't. I support food stamps as much as people say it's wrong. No, if a lot of people didn't have food stamps, the jobs wouldn't matter because you wouldn't be able to support yourself. How? This is the thing that food stamps makes up more of a difference than money. People say, "Oh, the dollar is a big thing." Well, how would you like it if you had $200 in food stamps? How the fuck are you gonna pay all those groceries if you don't understand what I'm trying to say? Because in my generation, you had to have everything to make it work. You would never understand that. I worked like a dog when I was younger. I was a manager at 2 hotels. I managed 2 hotels. I did cement work for my father. I did a lot of bullshit that I shouldn't have had to done, but despite doing it, it was right. Not saying the way I was treated was right, but the fact that I did it built character. Because now I believe hard working is good. Even if you can't get a job, that's completely fine. Do a hobby at home that's hard work, that benefits your family and your house. That's what I'm saying. If you can do something that benefits your family and your house until you get it, even if you don't get a job, that's completely fine. But do something that matters, like take out the trash like I do. Pay the bills like I do. That's how you know you're a hard worker, despite what anybody says. I believe in myself because despite not being perfect, I always take out the trash, even though I slip in the fucking snow. I pay a $200 worth of groceries. Will anybody else do that? No. I do a big amount of the bill paying. Not saying nobody has to agree, but it's true. I do some bill paying. I do the groceries. I clean up my house as much as I can. Even though people are self-centered and say they do it. No, I do a lot of it too. So, I'm a hard worker. I believe in the power of youth. And I understand a lot of old generations. You would never understand where I come from, man. What I truly believe as a pacifist, even for the old generation, yes, people had a lot of wars and death. And you got to understand, if it's not for the legit reason of defending your country, then you're in the wrong too. I don't care if you're America. If you're doing it to be a fucking prick just to do it, war. How I look at war is it's senseless hatred and death and violence that repeats itself. The more you do it, the more it happens, and it's a senseless hatred cycle of hatred that will keep sprouting new hate. The more you kill a person's family, the more backlash you'll get from it. And what will that solve? Do you think killing the governor of North Korea is going to solve a damn thing? Fuck no. You're only butt fucking yourself in the ass. I don't care if you're Trump. I don't care who you are. If you're doing it because you're self-centered, that's your problem. If you're that self-centered, and that's the thing. If you're doing it to defend your country, I understand. I can relate to that. But if you're doing it just because you want to earn money to blow their country up, then you're a fucking cunt. And I will not lie. I will not say that's, I'm not going to agree with, if he decides the next day to blow up Korea, do you think I'm going to support that? No. I tell him, you deserve to be assassinated. Sorry, dude. Your ass is going to be clapped. I mean, you got to realize my generation in the old days, when I was younger and I lived with my grandpa in the old days, we had things called morals and respect. If an old lady fell on the ground, she was trying to cross the street and she was crawling, you would help her up. You wouldn't rob her for her money. You would not kick her while she's on the ground. I mean, this new generation is so fucked up. Not all of it. No, there's a lot of peace-loving, good people in this world. But that only happened after like 4 people shoot up a school, which is like the government's fault to begin with. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I support it, but it's mostly the government's fault. You wonder why people stand for peace and shit. It's because they're sick and tired of having senseless death, and they're willing to achieve peace like I have, even through illegal means. You know why people do that? And they're willing to rally in the schools because they're sick of their friends dying, and they're willing to kill the killers. And I don't blame them at a damn bit. Do you think I'm going to sit here and judge that? No. I've dealt with plenty of death in my life, and I'm sick of it too. Think I need to sit here and hear that bullshit? No, I believe in peace, and even if it's through a nasty method, you gotta take risks in life. If you're not afraid to try, then you're no more of a criminal than I am. You're no more you're just like ISIS if you give up. If you give up on hope and love and that what this world stands for, then you're being a self-centered bitch. That's what you are, and I'm just saying. No one would disagree with me. If you do, say it in the comment section, and I'll explain to you why you're wrong. Because I don't understand. This country, you don't understand. As much as there is love and hope, there is also pain and hatred. What comes with pain and hatred is the ability to kill a bunch of people. But that's the thing. I truly believe in peace. You know why? Someone who's a pacifist and a peace seeker, I but truly believe if you sat down with every nation and was really trying to talk in a respectful and an understanding way, we could have solved all these issues without having crime, without having killings. I mean, that's the thing. Not certain people can't be saved, but a lot of the people that you find that are evil really aren't evil. I mean, you wouldn't understand what I'm saying, but from an old generation, you gotta understand, sit with a black person, sit with a Chinese person, ask them why they're pissed, ask them what they've dealt with, ask them all this bullshit, and then you get an answer. And you come to a resolution on how we can create peace together. Because a lot of the people that you think are psychopaths are not. I mean, shit, I'm a nut job, I'm a criminal, and yet most of it is not my fault because I've been abused plenty of times and I never spoke up. You gotta realize, I'm not a bad guy. As much as I'm a psychopath, it has to do with a certain person. You gotta realize I'm autistic because of it. I have paranoia because I'm worried people are out to get me. You wonder why that I'm the way I am? Because I'm the type where I'm such a peace lover that I will risk everything, and it causes me a lot of pain and a lot of. You wouldn't understand, man. I'm like an old generation type person. You wouldn't understand. You would never understand the burden people have in this world when they put up with all the death and hatred. And you wonder why people shoot up schools. You wonder why people blow up buildings. I'm not saying any of it is right, but if you had the guts and the balls to talk to a really bad, or not even a simple criminal, ask them, where does this hatred come from? Where does this pain and the urge to kill people come from? Why do people do it? What is their end goal? And most people will say, well, most hardcore criminals will say it's for the better good. And I would agree with that, because the reason I do crime all the time is because I believe it's for a better good. Not saying it's right, but in some cases it is. I'm not gonna lie. If you have to kill someone to protect someone, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Like I said, if you have to beat someone up, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, you wouldn't understand it because, like for me, I've been in the law system for a while. A lot, and that's the thing. A lot of cops are corrupted and assholes. Not all of them, but a good amount are. Not every single one, but a lot of them are fucking scumbags. Cops, sheriffs, they're all fuck-ups. Most of them. I don't judge them for that, nor do I dislike them, and that takes a lot for me to say. I don't hate them. I don't blame them for their problems. If you had bothered to ask, this is the thing. If people could learn to disagree, to love, and to show love to the brother, regardless of their opinions or religious, if people could let go of all the judging of the race and the religion and let that shit go, and, be honest with each other. Why are you mad at me? Does it have to do with that? Because if that's such a big issue, why are you even on this planet? Human lives should not be determined by your religion or race or color. I don't believe that. I don't. Your attitude, how you treat people, the way you act and treat people, and if you have to fight someone and they're dying on the floor and then they're done, would you just kill them for the fun of it? That's what I'm saying. If you're not heartless, then why should any of you shouldn't have to suffer because of beliefs. I'm the type of guy that I would talk to a dictator and I would try to convince him to be good. And if I couldn't, that's fine. You do what you got to do. Just realize that I'm a good guy, and as much as I believe in peace, I would not hate you. I wouldn't blame you. If you destroyed our country, I still wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't hate you. Hey, we do what you got to do. Just do me a favor. Don't kill my family. Spare me. That's all I ask. You wouldn't realize it, but as nice as I am, I'm an honest dude. What makes you think I judge you? You could be a legit psychopath, but if you give me reasons that why you turned out the way you did, and you really want to change, hey, then I can't blame you for that. I mean, if you killed 70 people, am I gonna blame you if you really want to change? And if it's not all your fault, let's give a funny example. Um, you know that fake cartoon Goofy's Trial where Goofy was a serial killer? It was a bad joke of a cartoon. It was funny, but at the same time, I kind of had you wouldn't understand it. It doesn't matter how much of a sicko you are, and I'm not saying anything that he did was right. It was appalling. But when I heard that one thing you said, it made sense. Like why I understand why he did it. Not saying it's right, but I can understand why he jumped to that conclusion so quickly. I mean, let's say your wife miscarried and she died along with your baby. I'm not saying any of it's right, but if you went out and killed a child, I mean, maybe you just need help dealing with your pain. That's all. I wouldn't blame you. I mean, that's fine. It's fine if you. I'm not even saying a child. If you go out and kill someone because of it, I'm not gonna blame you. I'll say, hey, dude, you need help. We need you to get you some serious help because obviously, and that's the thing. If it happens right in front of you, I'm not gonna blame you for that. Hey, and that's the thing. If he's a criminal himself, hey, one less piece of shit in the streets, right? Right, yeah. So, end of video. That's my point. Treat people equally. And if people are morally in the right, then you understand and respect their points and views, regardless if you agree with it. You gotta understand people. For that is